This episode of Chasing the Dollar is proudly brought to you by Sportingbet. There's no better bet than a Sportingbet.
Well, hello and welcome along to Chasing the Dollar, brought to you by Sportingbet. Ben Damon is my name, and we've got a very nice meeting. Adam Pengilly is going to take us through the quaddie legs on Saturday night at Wentworth Park. It's a good meeting, isn't it?
It is, Ben. We've got a couple of really cracking races on Saturday night on the back of the Golden Easter Egg Carnival a couple of weeks ago, and really looking forward to sinking our teeth into some of those, and hopefully the quaddie gods will be on our side this week.
Yeah, hopefully. We've been a little unlucky in recent times, but picking some winners last week, Adam was, so hopefully still in form, and we'll have a look at race number 5, which is the first leg of the quaddie there on Saturday night at Wentworth Park. This is a pretty tough race that kicks them off.
It is a tough race, Ben. I'm going to go with Collision Blue here in the first of the quaddie legs on Saturday night. I didn't think her effort was that bad last week. She raced in restricted room for a long way, never really had any clear room to move at any stage. I think the draw suits her really well on Saturday night. She's got a couple of moderate beginners boxed either side of her, and she's going to be my on-top selection for this race. I'm going to throw in Mr. Beau for second. Now, we mentioned on last week's program that we were hoping more than anything that Box 8 might be able to unlock the key to this greyhound. He never got into the race at any stage, and guess what? He's back out in Box 8 again on Saturday night. But having said that, I think this looks like a much easier affair, so he's definitely good enough to run in the top 2 for me. I've thrown Wooden Ball in for third. He grows the leg when he's drawn close to the rails, and he's done it again here. He's a rising 5-year-old, but still might be able to find enough dash to lead this race. And I throw in MUNGO Park for fourth. The big question mark for him is where he's going to be able to run out a strong 500 metres.
That takes us to race number 6. This is the free-for-all on Saturday night, and it is the race of the night. It is an absolute cracker. Look at that all-star lineup that goes around over the 520 at Wenny. Chasing the Cash goes from box 7. We're waiting on Chasing the Dollar, our dog, to get started. We'll be taking donations pretty shortly, I'm sure. Bye Bye Bucks goes around here as well. A superstar at Wenny Park. Can we see the best of Bye Bye Bucks, do you think, on Saturday?
I don't know if we can on Saturday night, Ben. I think this is a really difficult draw for him. Having said that, I think this race is probably worthy of a Group 1 semi-final or even a Group 2 or Group 3 final. It's got that many hot pups in it. I'm going to go with Charmed Assassin here. He was sensational throughout the New Sensation series in all 3 starts. He's unbeaten at Wentworth Park. He's drawn box 2 here, and which is inside some of the other key runners in the race, and I think he's open to some improvements. I think he's still got a couple of lengths up his sleeve from those efforts in the New Sensation series. So I'll make him my on-top selection, sorry. Going to go with Sometimes Speedy for second. Now, obviously we know how much of a high-class pup she is. I thought she was extremely unlucky in the Golden Easter Egg final when she seemed to get a little bit worried out of it going around the first turn with Gregory over bail there. And of course, we know that greyhound went on to win the race. Having said that, I think she can hold out the 3 greyhounds boxed to her outside. Where she lands in relation to some of the speed demons on her inside is going to be the key for her. I've included KOBI J for third, and I really liked his run last week. I said to myself I'd be keen to back up and back him again in his next start, but having said that, the draw is probably not going to do him too many favours with a lot of speed drawn on the outside. If he can land in the first 3 or 4 greyhounds going past the post the first time, he's definitely a place chance. I'm going to throw in My Sweet Love for fourth. Now, I know that she's been racing in career best form, and it wouldn't surprise me if she jumps on the bunny and blows them away, but I think this draw, with Sometimes Speedy, who's a noted railer drawn on the outside, is going to pose a few problems.
Race number 7 is a 5th grader, and Adam, you reckon you found a bit of value here?
I think we might, Ben. I'm going to go with Chasing Diana here. Now, clearly she's probably not the best pup in the race on the score of time, but I think the draw works out really well for her here on Saturday night. She's got a wide runner in TYPHOON BANQUET boxed on her outside, and I think if she can sneak along the rails here and land in the first 2 or 3, I think she's a massive chance of pinching this race at a bit of value as well. So I'm prepared to have a little bit of a nibble at her. Going to throw in La Host for second. I thought she was really strong to the line last week, and she's definitely my second pick in the race. I've got a big rap on Lightning Impact, who has scorned to Maitland the last couple of starts and seemed to have tidied up his box manners a little bit. Back to down, he's definitely a chance here. I'm going to throw in Little Georgia for the multiples.
Let's go to the final leg of the quaddie. This is a 4th grader. It is race number 8 on the program. There's plenty of greyhounds in good form here. Probably none better than Montana IZMIR. Goes from box 6 here, but did go 29.63 at Wenny last week.
Absolutely flying last week, Ben. And I think in this race we've got at least 5 last start winners, so you can make a case for plenty of greyhounds in this race. But having said that, I was really taken by Montana IZMIR last week. In what must be said, it was a much easier race than what she faces this Saturday night, but I still think she's in good enough form to jump on the bunny and lead and win here. I know this race is going to be different for her and she's going to be a little bit of pressure around her, but I still think she's good enough to win this race, so she goes on top for me. Fleetwood's the blowout in the race for me. I thought he was absolutely sensational last week chasing My Sweet Love, only 2 days after competing in the Maitland Gold Cup heat, so he's my second pick. A grade really caught the eye last week, and he's a greyhound that's once fully balanced, he can really motor. My only concern with him is where he's going to be if he fails to hold out Montana, IZMIR and LAGOON, LOWANNA in the run to the first turn. And I know LAGOON, LOWANNA was fantastic last week, but I think the draw's a lot more difficult here on Saturday night, so she goes in as my 4th pick.
Okay, well, that is our look at the quaddy legs. Now it's time, Adam, to get your best bet on the program.
Going to go with Suits Us being on Saturday night. I know we took a little bit of a set against him last week with Miss Nicole in the staying race, but Miss Nicole's not there on Saturday night. He's drawn box 1. He should be able to jump on the bunny and will take a power of catching. Okay,
give us something at some value.
Going to go with Chasing Diana Ben. She's clearly not the best greyhound in the race on the score of time, but I think the draw suits her really well on Saturday night, and I'm prepared to have a bit of a punt on her at a price.
And we're looking for a bit more luck in the quaddy this week.
We keep missing out on this quaddy by 1 leg every week, but we're going to try and nail it this week. Going to play Skinny in the first bend and just include Collision Blue and Mr. BEAU because we've got a couple of very hard races later on in the program. In the second leg, we're going to throw in KOBI J, Charmed Assassin, My Sweet Love and Sometimes Speedy. In the third leg goes in Chasing Diana with Lightning Impact and La Host. And to bring us home, we're going to go with Fleetwood, A Grade and Montana IZMIR. They're going to risk LAGOON, LOWANNA from an outside box. Okay, thank you very much, Adam. We're hoping for some luck this week. You look like you might be a little bit more confident as well. Hopefully, Ben, a little bit more confidence this week, and fingers crossed we can get that quaddy across the line finally. Yeah, most certainly. We'll see you next time. We'll see you next time on Chasing the Dollar.
This episode of Chasing the Dollar is proudly brought to you by Sportingbet. There's no better bet than a Sportingbet.